Hey what's guys, it's your Dadscap, welcome to Market Pulse Weekly Recap into the CS2 economy. Player count just reached an average daily peak of 1.4 million players, remaining stable and slightly trending upwards. Looking at the market cap and okay. Everybody just got richer by $200 million in the span of a week. Congratulations everybody, and yes, this was all because of me, but however though, the indexes although were just on another level. Liquids are up 6.17%, lows are up 7.85%, mids went up 5.04%, every single one outperforming the broader market index like true gigachads, except for high tiers who just continue to be a disappointment to their parents. It is the only index out of the main 5 to not score under, but actually being a whole point lower than the market cap. High tiers are really strong right now, but thankfully you don't own any, so let's move on. Knives and gloves significantly diverged this week, with knives aiming for the stars as always, like no shit they got one in their name, versus gloves who seem to have forgotten they've also got one. This will all make more sense later on, so don't even worry about it. So let's check out what the extra cosmetics were up to last week. Yeah. Knives and gloves apparently aren't the only ones having a divorce, but if we're being for real 100 chillax bozo right now, the only reason the agents are quote unquote up this week is only because a small group of them started getting pumped like there was no tomorrow, and there are now at least 6 agent skins for which the market price has crossed the $100 mark. To me that seems like a bad case of FOMO switching hosts, you know, a bit like a virus, you know, a pandemic, or as researchers would call it, the COVID-19. Okay, now. And finally for the cases index, we see the same pattern we saw last week, surprisingly. Or not, it wouldn't surprise me if a large proportion of people who would be willing to buy cases for investment purposes right now have decided to hold off until Valve reveals what it is that they're cooking with their so-called volatile cases. The market pool this week is zooming! Honestly, I wish I could say more, but this week is just a continuation of last week's uptrend. More or less a few things that we'll go over in the next segment. But yeah, brokies and normal players with normal skins stay winning. The dude who decided to put his entire life savings on a few god tier items is probably not waking up from his coma right now. And the community seems to finally have realized that equipping an agent does in fact change what your in-game armies look like. Only took 6 years, but hey, better late than never. Welcome to Case Crackdown, where we break down the happenings in case market over the past week, and this week, 7 million cases were open, a slight decrease of just about 300k compared to last week, of which the active cases share increased to 53%, purchasable case decreased to 32%, and rare and discontinued cases remained stable at 15% combined. The number one purchasable case was the fever case again and again, with 1.9 million cases open last week, with the steep fall compared to its numbers 7 days ago, and its third straight week of decline. The top active case was the Revolution case, second week in a row, congratulations, which saw its openings number climb up to 875,000, a very sharp uptrend of 8.5% compared to its weekly average. This case might be making a comeback. The number one rare case was the Snakebite case, of course, with 147,000 unboxings this week, a significant decrease from its 160k openings we saw last week. The most liquid case was the Oh, no, never mind. It was the Kilowatt case. Nah, I'm not exactly sure what happened for its market listings to suddenly just boing all the way up to almost 500k, but it would seem like the increase in listings has pushed the price down enough for its 7 days unboxing numbers to go berserk as well, up 20.5%. Whoa. The case with the most potential was the Dreams and Nightmares case, which may sound weird at first glance because how can an active case have of investing potential? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, slow down, Billy Bob, okay? If you take a look at the 30 days price percentage, you'll notice that it's down almost 8%. So this recent spike seems to be a price correction after the market dramatically oversold it and pushed the price down below its fair market value. No, active cases still aren't good investments, and nor are rare cases apparently. If we take a look at the biggest crash out, the clutch case. Now the problem with the clutch case is that it shares the same goal as the Revolution case, aka the number one active case this week if you aren't paying attention. It seems like the resurgence in openings numbers for the Revolution case is forcing the clutch case's price down until the Revolution case is placed in the rare pool, and like we're probably years away from that. I don't see a bright future for the clutch case going forward. RIP. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that goofy bell to never miss another market recap in the future. Welcome to Winners and Losers, starting off with the winning cases, where we find the Gallery case or purchasable case for some reason sitting in third position with a gain of almost 3%, followed by the Broken Fang case, a discontinued one, in second, closing in at just over 4%. And of course, as we saw, the Dreams and Nightmares case from the active drop pool may be overcorrecting itself with a gain of just under 12%. The losers didn't stray too far from each other this week. The biggest ones pretty much just overed between 4 and 5% loss, and they're also literally all rare cases. And the most unhinged skin this week was the M4A4 in living color minimal wear. Wow, what a random skin from the Snakebite case no less. Robbing us of 1% unfortunately, and topping out the week with a sanity destroying gain of 68%. Who the fuck is doing that every week? Is that you, She? Come on, She, just admit it, you weenie looking at. The losing place skins this week honestly kinda giving me the ick, I'm not gonna lie. We find the usual suspects. First off, the AK Legend of Anubis, which lost 10%. Just makes me sick every time I look at it, since it's basically become my arch nemesis ever since the incident. $150 on the line, 55% chance of profit. Wish me good luck. Go! Bruh. No! I don't talk about that. And we also find the Up Green Energy from the Boreal collection losing 8% and apparently unable to catch a break. Like, how many weeks in a row has it been the loser section? Fortunately, with the Green Energy being a weekly drop from Valve's most recent set of collections, its chances at a redemption arc in the near future seems to be close to zero. In winning knives, we find an assortment of knives that I would consider to be classic winning knives. The Butterfly Knife Vanilla from the breakout case is a no-brainer obviously. The Flip Knife Doppler also, though to a lesser extent, from the Chroma cases 1, 2, and 3. And now the Navaja Marble Fade from Prisma 1 and 2, topping this week at just over 8.5% is a bit of a what the fuck. But hey, market fluctuations and all, the fact that it's a cheaper knife might actually be beneficial to its price growth in a market that's zooming. Sorry guys, no losers this week apparently. Okay, almost. I mean, the two that lost barely even lost anyway. I mean, what is this? The Stiletto Marble Fade at the bottom, like thinking it's all clever and shit, just because it's the only one in the group that ended up in the green. Hey, you're still a loser, buddy, okay? Remember that. And finally, for gloves, and bro, honestly, it feels like I'm back storming beaches in Normandy or some shit. Like, what the fuck is this price movement? Is the market really that hungry for gloves? D-Rap, Slaughter, and Badlands, I can sorta kinda understand because they're both first-gen gloves, meaning that they can only be found in either the Hydra and glove cases, which are two rare cases who have gotten omega expensive over the last couple of months, especially the glove case. 30% may be a little excessive, especially for field tested and minimal wear conditions, but I can understand why a lot of people would suddenly want to buy these. For loser glove, let's get away from large number. Okay, bruh. I guess the Molo gloves boom didn't get the memo. Oh well, this week seems to have been a difficult one for factory new gloves especially. Quote-unquote investors seem to be running out of patience with these ones now that the rally around factory new gloves seems to have moved on to the rest of the market. Were the Molo gloves boom just especially ugly, or the first casualty of a massive sell-off? Dum dum dum. Welcome to ROI Radar, where we're looking for a money printer hidden in the Armory or the in-game store. Starting off with the Warhammer Trader Sturgis capsule with an odds profit of 28%, unboxing ROI of 96%, and an expected value of 95 cents or 4 cents loss. The best item is the Alpha Legion 1 at $4.79. Next up is the Warhammer Xenos capsule with an odds profit of 24%, unboxing ROI of 113%, and an expected value of $1.12 or 13 cents gain. The best item is the Necron Glyphs at $5.79. And finally, the best capsule in the in-game store is the Warhammer Adeptus Asterius capsule with an odds profit of 24%, unboxing ROI of 144%, sheesh, and an expected value of $1.42 or 43 cents gain. Damn! The best item was the Space Wolves at $16.90. Moving on to the Armory, the third best collection was the Sporting Field collection with an odds profit of 5%, unboxing ROI of 99%, and an expected value of $1.58, so 2 cents loss. The best item was the M4 Fade at $652. Next up was the Elemental Craft Stickers collection with an odds profit of 15%, an unboxing ROI of 103%, and an expected value of 41 cents, so 1 cent gain. The best item was the Ruby Web at $13.03. And finally, the best collection in the Armory were the Missing Link Charms with an odds profit of 17%, unboxing ROI of 123%, and an expected value of $1.48, so 8 cents gain! The best item is the Hot Howl at $67.26. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace!